everybody. I'm going to switch my camera here quick. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to wait for my TV to catch up here for a minute. And get a couple things here ready to go. Get my Through the Magic of Television stuff ready. There's the other one. Okay. Oh, there it goes. And I think I need to get one more thing out. There we go. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I added something to my bundle tonight. Have the bundle linked in the description box below. It is an affiliate link, which just means if you place an order using that link, I get a small kickback from that at no cost to you. Hi, Kate. Hi, Brandon. Just turning off my TV here. All right. So what I have in my bundle tonight, it's just a small bundle. If I remember correctly, I've got the slimline. Oops, let's switch this. So hello, Jamie. Hi, Mom. Hi, Penny. Let me switch my cameras. Okay. So in my bundle tonight, if I did this morning, yes, TGIF. I'm trying to remember, make sure it's all good. I've got the slimline card bases, the jack-o'-lantern cardstock, the Rainbow Leaves dual foil. Hi, Walter. Hi, Karen. And the Motel Sunrise glitter glaze. Thank you, Penny. I was like, I don't know if I even remember what was in my bundle at the moment. Let me go in and look at it quick. It's been kind of a crazy work day at work, so let me see if I can get here quick to it. I apologize. Let's see, there were 6 items. Oh, in the stick and stamp mat. And then last but not least, I included the pumpkin spice layering stencil. And that's what we're going to, this is the main stuff we're going to use tonight. I have a couple other things. We are going to use some lunch bag cardstock, the orange spice stamp set, and SVG file, but I just put those in my collection. It's under Candy's Live. But I wanted to just do a smaller bundle tonight. So this is the 10th anniversary stick and stamp mat too. So we're going to use that tonight. I haven't used that in a while, and I'm like, we need to get that out. So what I wanted to do is I wanted you guys to learn from me. This is a 3 layering stencil. And what I like to do with my layering stencils, especially if they don't always have markings on them. Like there's nowhere to mark this one really because of the design. What I do is I line it all up. And if you can kind of see, I lined it up. And this is what I do. I don't necessarily, I know like Jennifer McGuire will use a Sharpie and put a piece of paper, or I mean, piece of Scotch tape. I literally take my embossing powder and I do a little bit. This has worked for me on each corner of the same corner, and I dip it in my embossing powder, and I always do gilded just because it's pretty. And it doesn't have to be a lot. I'm going to wipe that one off because I dipped it in too far. And then I heat set it. And then that reminds me where my corner is. Okay. So I just thought I'd tell you a little hint. That's how I mark my stencils when I have layering stencils. And sometimes they're not, it's not that it's not easy to line up, but I wasn't paying attention when I used it last night. I'm just going to heat set this quick. And I just keep it moving. It doesn't take long. Yep, that's it. And I didn't do this before because I forgot about it. And then I wanted to show you that this is what I do. And then now my stencils are marked and I know what order they go in. Just going to cool them off a second, and I could just put them, and I can always know that the gold is up in the upper left corner. Left? Yeah, left corner. Let's quick wipe off my desk. All right, so let's get started. It might be a quicker evening because our second card tonight is 90% done because we're using some leftovers. from another live, and I did my coloring off screen today, so you wouldn't have to sit and watch me color. I do need to grab some alabaster cardstock here and cut down a card panel. You know what, Kate? I don't know why I did it a couple years ago, and I really like that idea for in particular because sometimes it's just not you're not able to put the etched markings on some of the layering stencils. Some depending on the company or the type of stencil. So I just thought that was and yes, it's pretty because it's got the gilded. I'm just trying to move things out of the way here so we have more room. All right, so let's grab our stick and stamp mat because I want to get this going first here tonight. And I do have my blending buddy. I did include it in the collection, but I believe right now it's out of stock, but it is something we make in house. So you can, I don't know if it's up for notifications right now. I did not check that. I forgot. But I always have mine on mine, just if you guys know me. So because I overblend a lot. And when I use pastes, I like to have a blending buddy to protect my stick and stamp mat as much as possible. So my paper is stuck, but my cardstock is, or my stencil is not because of that. Thank you, Penny. Yes, there is a Labor Day sale going on. If you spend $75, you get 20% off. If you spend $150, you get 25% off. So take advantage of that if you want to. And we are going to use some traffic cone and guppy ink tonight. I finally ordered myself an ink stand today so that I would have this ready because I just got one to start because I don't have a lot of room on my desk. So I ordered that today. I kind of remembered. So we're just going to go in and we're going to super blend. And go on. I hope everyone has had a great week, and maybe some of you guys have some fun Labor Day plans. If you have a 3-day weekend, I am going to spend it tomorrow. Fletch and I are going to get up super early and get our walk in early, and then get home. And I want to do some crafting. I took the day off yesterday because I have some vacation days to use. And I ended up not doing much crafting. I crafted late at night, but Tom and I went and did some work. And I came home and I took a 4-hour nap. I couldn't believe it. So I didn't get in my room. Hi, Samantha. Thanks for joining us tonight. So that's the Stellar ink. And then I'm going to grab the traffic cone and I'm going to use my Christopher number 8 signature brush, my detail brush. And I'm just going to go in and I'm doing it right in the center, just to deepen the center point of each one of my pumpkins. And I saw this stencil as part of this release. I was super excited for it. And then I realized I forgot to order it. So I had to make sure I ordered it because I love fall. It's my favorite. And then winter. And that's the other thing I get to do this weekend is I get to decorate for fall and Halloween because it's official. It's Labor Day weekend. And I'm just swirling some around. There, yes, thank you, Penny. The Labor Day free deal. So if you spend $50, you get the peppermint twist embossing powder. If you spend $75, you get the Towering Pines stencil. And if you spend $100, you get the Christmas paper pack. And this is addition to the percentage, I believe, that gets off for Labor Day. And those products will not be available until, I think I heard Christopher say the other day, October. So now I'm just going to go back with a little bit extra guppy ink, and I'm just going to kind of go over the edge, and I'm going to kind of wipe in what was left on my stencil from that orange traffic cone. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off, and look at how fun that is. Now, because this is where I forgot to do this the other day. I couldn't get my stencil to line up. I do know I had this in the corner with my gold. So now I have this one. And I can just kind of line it up by eyeball sight. I mean, I didn't have to worry about where I put it in the corner. Yes, you can get them now, but they won't be available for sale until October, correct? Thank you. If I said that wrong, I apologize. So I'm just kind of lining it up, eyeballing. It does not have to be perfect because, we're making little pumpkin pieces. And we're going to do the same thing. Some guppy ink. And when I ink blend, I like to go one way and then the other. And actually, I'm going to throw my magnets down to kind of keep my stick and stamp mat in one place while I do this. So I'm excited. My girls play tonight, the Fever, so they play later, so I get to watch them tonight. Last week they were playing during my live, so I missed part of the game. I was sad. That's okay. And then I'm super excited because my favorite time of year officially starts tomorrow, and that is football season. I mean, I know it actually kind of kicked off tonight because it's high school football tonight, at least here in Iowa. But college ball starts tomorrow. And the Hawkeyes play tomorrow night. I am going to try to catch the Texas Ohio State game because one of the Manning kids is going to be playing as quarterback. So I'm kind of excited to watch that. All right, so I got that. And then I'm going to go ahead again, get my traffic cone. And I want to do this because I want to add a little depth to my pumpkins. And that little bit of shading makes a big difference. It just adds that little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're actually going to add some glaze to this too, so I can be as messy or as, you could go one direction like this, but I'm just doing a big circle because I just want that deep in the middle. I'm not too worried about the pumpkins on the edges because we're going to cut this down a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to go back through and grab just a little bit more of the guppy and just kind of go shoo, 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 all over. Kind of just blend and kind of even out where I wasn't perfect and kind of maybe added a little too much. And then because we're going to do glitter, we're going to come back. Just peeking out from behind the curtain. Oh no, don't look. Just kidding. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Friday. Good week. Got a lot done at work today. I was pretty excited because with no work on Monday, I felt like I might be playing catch up on Tuesday, but I got a lot done. So Tuesday when it come in, it won't be so bad. I'm going to keep this one because we're going to put this one back on, but I do want to go ahead and put the stems on first. And if you can tell when you look, I'm going to pull up so you can see where the stems go. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up, but it's going to be close enough. It pretty much kind of fits right in. Oh my goodness, Fletch is whining like usual. When I'm upstairs in my craft room, when we're both home, he whines all the time. And Saturdays when we're home here, he only whines when he has to go out. I don't know why he does that. Because he's just, yeah. He misses his mommy. I was at work today. Mom and daddy were gone today. So, all right. So, I'm going to stick that tape out of there. And so for what I'm going to do for my stems is actually I'm doing a combination of Gur and Overzealous. Because in my opinion, pumpkin, they're brown, but they're also kind of greeny. So I'm going to grab my detail brush for my green. And I'm just very quickly, this is probably takes us the most time for our project tonight. I know. Well, sometimes he does. A lot of times what he'll do is he lays on the landing of the steps. And, but he didn't get in a long W. That's as much as I can say without him. Because when I got home from work today, it was raining. So it was thundering. So I took him outside to go to the bathroom, and then I just let him come inside because I knew it was going to rain. So now I'm going to use a little Gur, and I'm just going to add a little bit of brown to this just to kind of darken it. And I'm not worried about it being too muddy because, green and brown. Just adding a little extra color to kind of deepen it up so you get both of those. And I don't really care if either one of them, if they match. Some of them are darker than others. Some have more green than others. So usually he comes upstairs and lays on the bed and takes a nap when I'm live. But like I said, I did not take him for a small little stretch your legs when I got home because it was raining. So he probably wants to do that. All right. So look at how cool this stencil is. Now I'm going to do a couple different things. For my card, I forgot, Penny, I don't know if you want to add this to my collection. I forgot to add this. I am going to spray this with the Chroma Mist, the Ornament Gold, because was my original plan, was just to spray it to give it that shimmery look. If you want, you don't have to. But and then I changed my mind and I wanted to add some glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my stick and stamp mat here quick because it's wet on the sides. And then, thanks, Luann. I think it's so fun. I kind of want to do it with some gray, take my time and do like I use sometimes when I want to do just a tiny area, I have these little eyebrow brushes and do some gray and make like Cinderella pumpkins. I think that would be fun. Okay, I'm going to take this. This is layer 2 that we did before. I'm going to put it back in its place because we're going to do a little glitter glaze. And I'm not going to worry about if I don't line it up perfectly. You'll see on my Through the Magic of Television sample, I did not get it lined up perfectly, but I love how it ended up turning out. So I changed my mind at the last minute. I actually did this at lunch today so that it would be dry. My daughter juggles when she works nights, so sleeps. Yeah, he tends to. He wants attention. He either wants us to play with him or take him. He wants to go OUT because sometimes he'll go in and out 13 times today. Thanks, Samantha. I love Simon's inks. And this is the Motel Sunrise glitter glaze. You could use Fallen Snow, but I love the fact that the glitter glaze base is a clear base. So I didn't want to use just the clear, even though that would just make that pop. I wanted to add a little bit extra gold, orange glitter glaze. You could do Chroma Mist or Chroma Glaze. I had thought about doing that, but I'm like, no, I did all that beautiful ink blending. And I'm not worried about being perfect with the glitter glaze, like getting it perfectly smooth, because like I said, it's more of a translucent. You're going to see that color behind. I also wanted to tell you that if you are using like Alabaster or Fallen Snow with the Simon Hurley inks, it is, those inks are kind of water reactive type inks. So you would want to be careful to not put any back in your jar because you could pull up some of the color. I'm not worried about this because first of all, it's orange and it doesn't bother me too much. Usually what I'll do if I'm using like Fallen Snow on colors, like on the Simon Hurley or Distressed Oxides or water reactive ink, is I put it on my desk. And that way, if there's any extra, I can either put it on some scrap if there's a lot extra, or I can just kind of wipe it up. So, all right. I'm going to grab a quick wipe here. I'm almost out. I'm trying to use up this last jar because I left them open, so they're a little dry. Wipe this off. And then I'm going to go through. We're going to, voila, pull it up and look at how fun that is. Now I have my stencil cleaning. Thank you. Oh, 4 in stock. Oh, yes. Be quick. Thank you, Penny. I don't know why I didn't. It should always be in my collection. I don't know why I didn't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is we're going to go like this. We're going to pop it back. Now this is alabaster, so it's a little thicker, and sometimes it likes to stick to the stick and stamp mat. And then I'm going to very carefully just wipe it sideways. Like I said, I tend to keep one mat that I use for glitter. See, I'm getting glitter on my stick and stamp mat. I'm okay with that because this is my stick and stamp mat for glittering. You can also kind of stick this back down and then wipe, which is the centerpiece of that blending buddy. But It's not going to hurt anything, that little bit. Okay, now through the magic of television, oh, I have one. Woohoo. That's what it looks like when it's dry. Look at how pretty this is, you guys. Yes, thank goodness it is made in house. Isn't that fun? I mean, you could totally do this in a couple of steps. Now, I actually moved my stencil, and that's why I said this didn't get perfect when I did it. I pushed it over, so it did. You could have done all the layers, let them dry, and do all of your pumpkin that way, but I thought it was just fun to add a little bit of extra shimmer. So let's get this cut down. We are going to cut it off a little bit. We're going to cut it down to 4 inches. And I'm going to cut off just the one side here because those just have half pumpkins. And then we're going to cut off a little bit off each top and bottom. So 4 by 5 1/4. Thanks, Glenn. I just think it's really fun. And I haven't used glitter glaze in a while. Really. All right. And then you have lots of options. You could layer it on some cabbage. I am going to use, you could put it on a colored card base. I tend to not make colored card bases. I tend to use white card bases. So I'm just going to cut down a piece of jack-o'-lantern to 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to put it right on here. And so, and I'll show you a difference. I want it on the orange. You could put it on black and it would pop. I will show you, like, with cabbage behind it because of that green. I am going to use the orange, but see, you can use the cabbage, and that would make that orange pop just a little bit more. But I'm going full orange tonight. But I think we're going to be adding a lot of dimension. We're going to add some foam tape. Yeah, he must have had to go outside because he came back in and now he's laying on the bed. We're going to sound issues. Are we having sound issues? Did I accidentally turn myself down? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Kind of? It's breaking up. I wonder, let me see if I'm pushing a button on my phone. See if that helps. I can try switching my mics. Let me try switching my mics if that's okay with you guys. Give me just a minute because it's kind of crazy. Let me try switching those mics. Oops, and then yeah, there. Is that better? Okay, I don't know if that's better or not. Okay. All right. No, it's really weird because my iPhone won't let me like turn my volume on my phone all the way down. So, okay, perfect. There is a little bit of storms kind of going around the area. Like there was, I guess, some funnel clouds, not necessarily, I don't think they touched the ground, about 35 minutes north of here earlier today, but I don't know if that's affecting anything here. So, because they did say we could have some storms. Okay. Yeah, it's weird because I cannot turn my volume all the way off on my phone. So hopefully there's not too much of an echo. I tried to turn it down all the way because I can hear myself. And that's only when I do my microphone on my computer. It's kind of weird. I probably need to invest in a microphone that I can plug in. Okay, so I grabbed a bunch of phone tape. Okay, good. I think the microphone for my computer is too far away from the sound on my phone, so it's just me that can hear it because it's right by my head. All right. Thank you for letting me know that. That is one thing that's hard about being live is that you can't hear yourself, because if you do, there's like if I turn my TV on, you guys would be able to hear it, and then I don't know. So we're going to pop this up. There's going to be a lot of dimension on this card. Okay, there we go. So there's our card base. That's about as far as I got, to be honest with you, with my decision for tonight. But I think it's going to be kind of a simple card, because we're going to do a sentiment, and then we'll do, I have an images already colored. So I'm going to grab another piece of jack-o'-lantern here, because we're going to do a sentiment. And I'm going to grab the stamp set out. This is, oh, and also remember that if you place a $60 order, which I think my bundle was just under, so if you added one more thing to it, you would get this Peaceful Hedge stamp set. And this is only available through August. So on September 1st, it won't be available anymore. Northeast Labor Day was the end of summer and vacationing. Here in Texas, it's what? I think that's probably reason, Susan, that we call it the end of summer is because you don't really go to the beach much after that and school starts. So, hi, Tia. I grew up in Minnesota. We never had school, this first day of school, until the Tuesday after Labor Day. So technically my last day of summer was Labor Day. Okay, where did my stamp set go? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is hot. You just get through it. So I am going to actually do the You're the Pumpkin to my brew. And yes, there are SVG files for these sentiments. I did not stamp those out. I just stamped out some of the images. I have actually, when I do my SVG files, I stamp out multiple images at a time, cut them out, and do multiple so that I have them ready to go. Which is really nice because sometimes I can sit and just color and zone out, and I can have a bunch of images. Like when the Pooh release, I actually have so many items ready from the Pooh release still, because I one day just was sitting here and I colored and colored and colored and watercolored, and I have a bunch of images ready to go. So I was just having a lot of fun. So I am going to use black Raven ink for this, because I want it to pop up a little bit more instead of using like the embossing powder or things, because I don't think it will quite stand up on this orange cardstock. We might use the embossing powder of the month on our other card. And I'm sorry if my camera shakes a little bit. It is attached to my desk. But when I do my sentiments, I like to walk my fingers. So I would like to say, you know, if you are interested in seeing, I'm going to be having some videos on my own YouTube channel. I go by Sugar Cards Candy V. I will be having, it's going to be late, but I will have a video up for each one of the Stencil Palooza stencils, which are only available while supplies last or to the last day of August. So on Monday, they're going away. But because they're going to be going up late and they're not going to be available, I'm going to put them on my channel. So if you wanted to see those videos, because I only have some of them, I have 4 videos ready. One is uploaded, and then I realized that I skipped half of it. So I have to re-upload it this weekend. But then if you want to subscribe to my channel, you'll be able to see those. So thank you. Yep, Sugar Cards by Candi is what I used. So I just am not going to get them all up in time before they are all by the end of the month. So I also plan on, I did get the advent calendar. So I am planning, because I'm trying to put more videos up. I am planning on doing a video every day for the advent calendars and making something. I don't know if they're going to go up the day of, but they're going to at least be within the week. So there we go. You're the pumpkin to my brew. So Stencil Palooza stencils. I have, like I said, Campfire Day 1 is up on my website. Day 2 and 4 will be up tomorrow for sure. Day 3, I haven't quite finished the card yet. And then this week at tomorrow, I'm going to be working on the next bunch. So, okay, there's our card base and our sentiment. So last we need a focal point. And I can't remember which one. Oh, it's this one. I have some pre-cut, and pre-colored Oh, thanks, Kate. I just really enjoy them, and I didn't really get to. I got a lot of last year's very late. I ordered them kind of late in this season, so I didn't get them till it was kind of over. So I just and I haven't used them, and I really would like to from last year. I just haven't had a chance to. So they're going to be kind of basic videos. Basically, I kind of explain the day and the name, what I'm using, and then I'm just going to have it set to music. So there aren't going to be any fancy techniques or anything. I took this amazing last live's finished packaging on Candi. Finished packages on Candi's Instagram. Oh, last live's finished packages on Candi. Well, that's my Instagram. Oh, from last live. Yes, my packages. I have them on the Instagram and in the fan club page. Thank you. I was confused for a minute. This is the image, and then through the magic of television, I stamped it on some perfect blend paper with the Raven Detail ink, and then I colored it in with my Olo markers. And I just did some fun. And then for some extra fun shine, I did add, and I know it's out of stock, I did add the Pearl Shimmer pen. However, you could also use the Pearl Aqua pigment if you didn't get the sugar pen, because I don't know if they're coming back in stock. I wasn't 100% sure about that. So I apologize for that if it did, but it works kind of the same way. The nice thing about the pen is that it's convenient. It's already in there, but I added a little shimmer to that. So let's pop this guy up. My packages were very well received last week. I was live Saturday last week because I was not feeling the best on Friday, and brought the little packages over to our little relatives that were starting school, and they were super excited. So I had to order a couple extra of those confection bags so I can maybe make them some Halloween treats too. Except that I'm guessing that they're going to come by trick-or-treating, and I'm going to have the packages for them. And whoever is they're trick-or-treating with isn't going to get those special little packages. So I may have to drop them off at their house. But it's fun to have little ones around. And then we're just going to add this little You're the Pumpkin to my brew. And that is pretty much our card for tonight, the first card. I think I'm going to add a little bit of bling to it just because, you know, I can. And the other card is going to be fast. So let's see. We are going to grab, let's add a little bit of black bling to it to tie into our sentiment here. Okay. So I've got some of the, oh, that's the emerald green. They look black. I'm going to grab the hematite. So do you guys decorate for the fall or for Halloween? I know not everyone celebrates Halloween, and that's okay. But I was curious to know if anyone decorates for fall. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to put them right here on this. It may have a clogged thing. So let me see. My Brutus Monroe glue is here. I love this Brutus Monroe little glue. However, I am very heavy-handed with it. And so I tend to, because you get a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to gems, I tend to actually move them around too much. So I don't always use it for my gems. I like it for everything else when I have to have some wiggle room. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then I think we'll put 1, 4, 5. That's good. That's enough. And then, all right. So I know Francie's not here tonight, but if you got your goggles ready, here I come with my Stickum tool. So a big tradition in my family growing up is to go to the Minnesota State Fair. And most of my family has been. I have some family members that go multiple times a year. I know my sister went today again with her son and his best friend. And a tradition there is you decorate a little for fall and Halloween. I did last year, I did a bunch because I wanted to, and I'm going to go a little bit more this time. But she went this, but a tradition at the Minnesota State Fair is the Star Tribune, which is our big newspaper in the Twin Cities areas, gives away chapstick, flavored chapstick. And it is the best chapstick. Like, it feels so good on. And they have the craziest flavors. And this year was Noble Pine or something like that. It's a pine. And I was so excited. She sent me a picture of like everyone that was there together. They were holding up, there was like 8 of them or something like that. And she's like, you get them all but one, because I had to try it. And I said, I told you. They had one that was called mowed grass that was amazing. And I used it up and I was so sad I only had one. Oh, that's fun, Kate. A golf cart parade for trick-or-treating. They decorate the carts and drive through the community. That's super fun. Okay, so here is our first card. Our second card is going to be a slimline card. That's why I put the slimline card panels in the bundle. So I'm going to show you how they work, even though I have a bunch. These are my bonus ones that I have put aside. But I have a bunch already ready to go, but I'm going to show you how it works. So they are 8.5 by 7. And on the 7 side, you could go ahead at 3.5. What I do is I do it down as far as I can. I flip it over because I have I have a big score buddy, but that doesn't work for the camera, for the desk. Okay. And then I'm going to fold it in half as best as I can. If I need to cut a little edge off, I will. And then use my little bone folder thing to score it down. And that is what you need to do. And the reason these are not pre-scored is because you could fold them a different way, or you could use them for other reasons. You don't have to, they're not pre-scored. It's so that you can use them for more than just slimline cards. Because they're 8.5 by 7, you could do a longer card this way if you really wanted to, or whatever. I love these for slimline cards. They're just great because they're pre-cut and I don't have to waste any paper. Ooh, it's so hot when they walk around in costumes. Oh, that's kind of sad. I'm sorry. Okay, so I am not going to foil tonight because we did foiling 2 weeks ago. And what I did is I took the Rainbow Washi Leaves dual foil and I ran it through with some orange sketch, which there was only a couple orange sketch left. So if you want some orange sketch, you need to head to the store because there's only a couple in stock right now until it's restocked. This is what it looks like. What I did is I cut my washi sheet right in half. I will show you how I did that. In case you missed it. Because it's 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, I just put it in my trimmer. And I measured at 5.5. And you can kind of see, you can see where you could lift it up and look if you really wanted to. I'm thinking right about there, but I'm okay with it being a little bit. I just want to make sure it's straight. And then I can go in and foil it through my fuse machine. So, and then it just peels off. So now it might not have cut perfectly. There's a little bit there, but I'm okay with that. It works for me. So you can always peel it off and then figure out where that center line is and cut. But anyway, if you run that through your fuse machine or your laminator or whatever you use to foil your laminator, this, and I'm sorry, it's already ready, is what it looks like with the orange sketch. Isn't that cool? So if you use anything where it was black, anywhere where it's black will foil. So I foiled this part. Penny, can you get rid of that person for me, please? That is a bot. Thank you. Yes, pretty. Thank you. And what I did is these were leftover pieces from when I made a card a couple weeks ago, and they were just sitting on my desk. So I just lined them up on some lunch bag cardstock, and I cut it down so that there was a little bit of a trim. And what we're going to do is, this is a pretty easy card. So we're just going to layer it on our card base. Now you could zhuzh this up however you wanted. I'm really sticking with the white because I want that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this down flat tonight. So like I said, I knew we said we were making 2 cards, but I'm kind of cheating because I'm using a little bit of leftovers. But, and I had this ready to go. Otherwise I would have done it live. I was playing around the other day and then I didn't make my card. So I was like, I'll just finish it on my live. So go ahead and put that down. And I'm going to put up a little bit higher because we're going to put our sentiment down below it. We're just going to put it on straight. You could put pattern paper behind there or whatever, but I mean, look at how pretty it is, just kind of like this. I mean, you could have a card that's like, if you put it at the top, you know, mine obviously, if it's that does opening this way, but let's pretend that's, I mean, you could do that, put just a circle on top, you know, just a little sentiment. You got a really easy, quick and easy card. However, what I did, because I was playing with a bunch of stuff last night, is I took this image from the pumpkins orange spice and I colored it with some Olo markers. And I used kind of a gray to do the thing. And then I used some more of that pearl on the whipped cream. And I used the green because there's green in the leaves. And we're just going to put this on right here. And I just think that look at how simple this card is. But yet it has a great impact. But before I put this down, we're going to do our sentiment. And of course, I have my Misty is all set up for my stamping last night. If you haven't seen my SVG video, what I do is I stamp my pictures down. I cut out these little negative pieces. I stamp my images down and I layer them in, and then I stamp my pumpkins or my pieces. I stick them in and stamp down, and that's how I get a bunch of pieces ready. And then I don't move my stamp until I'm done. So I just didn't do that before tonight because I was kind of getting ready last night. And we're going to choose a different sentiment this time. My glasses out of the way. Let's grab that sentiment stamp. Let's see, what do we got here? I like you a latte even more with pumpkin, I think is what I want to do. Yes. That's what we're going to do because there's a little pumpkin on top. So I think that's kind of fun. So I'm going to stick this in my Misty here. Stick my magnet down. Luann, what was interesting, the way I stamp my stamps out, I can, if we have a couple minutes, I can show you one quick. And I'm going to do it way over here on this corner. And I'm just going to try to eyeball it. And we're going to use this black. And I know, so I use my Cricut Joy. I want to make sure I'd stamp. No, ooh, we almost made a big mistake. Pay attention. Good thing I checked. That was upside down. Okay, I will try to show one tonight, Lynn, before we go. I have one more of the other pumpkin I haven't stamped out yet. So this is just a piece of acetate. This is an acetate grid from Tailored Expressions. You can just use a piece of acetate to put down over your card front and it won't get it dirty. I just happen to have one of those handy. Yeah, I'll show you one quick right at the end. It's very simple. Like I said, I get a lot of stamping done, and I have to do on my little pumpkins from the little pumpkin set because I haven't used that yet. So tomorrow, that is what I will be doing. And I may spend an hour stamping my stamps out, my sentiments out, or my images and stuff. But then, like I said, I have so many ready to go, and I just store them in little envelopes in with the packaging. So, okay, I like you a lot, even more with pumpkin. That's perfect. Let's wipe this guy off. Yes, get it plugged in, Luann. That part I can't show you because it's over there. And then for our card here, quick, we're just going to pop this puppy up. And I think it's just kind of a fun little pumpkin-y card. Like I said, I didn't do a lot of the coloring on camera because, you know, I don't like to color on camera personally because I like to take my time, and I think I rush it too much when I do it. And then it's not quite as nice, which is fine. But I'm kind of I'm an overachiever when it comes to my coloring. I like to take my time and blend very nicely. So yeah, exactly. You need to plug it in. Okay, well, you got to get ready. The class is coming up too on the event page. If you didn't know, there is a stencil class, a Cricut class. There was only like a couple of the Halloween glow boxes left. So if you wanted those, and there were some extra like items, if you wanted to add extra paper pads and things, if you're taking SCT in the bonus days, there was some extra things of those on the Brutus Monroe events page. And then there's the Halloween class, box and class that's separate, plus the Fall into the Holidays event. So, all right, we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to add a little bit. We're going to do them right here. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to put 2 up here. 4 and 5. Ooh, that's a lot of glue. I promise that once you get started, then, well, Luann, you're not far. So this isn't going to work for you as much as it does for me. What I do is that as soon as I get my, I'm going to use the crystal one. No, I'm not. I want these ones again, the hematite ones. As soon as I know my order is on its way, because if you get the whole shebang, the SVGs are included. Otherwise, you can buy them separately. I start getting my stuff printed so that as soon as they come, my stamps come in, I am ready to go. Plus, there's a ton of other fun SVGs on the site, from sentiments to for Halloween. There's a bunch of scenery. Like there's one like Halloween, like Craggly Tree and Tombstone, and I think a black cat. Those are real fun. So when I have more time. All right, so we're just going to dab the glue down. And then I didn't get those perfect, so I'm just going to take my little pokey tool thingy here and just kind of space them out. That's one nice thing about having the Brutus Monroe glue is you got a little bit more space. Okay, now one last thing we did is I need to like mark this. I did not do that first, so let's grab, let's see, is this the right kind of pen? Let's see if this will even work. Yep, we're just going to go right like this to mark off which kind that is. So there we go. I'm going to show you the 2 cards we made tonight. Obviously, I have to put this one on a card base yet. Oh no, guess what I did? I stuck it on my card. I didn't realize that wet one was up there. Okay, well, we're putting this on a card base right now before I make a mess. Okay, add some glue. Oops. I'm going to add probably more glue than I really need to. But once that glitter glaze dries, it will seal it down on my card. Oops. Happens. And I'll just look at the spots that are not perfect and make them, embellish them over that, or put an image over that. Okay. So here are our 2 cards from tonight. Thank you. I'll come them up so you can see them again quick. Kind of, oh, my card base. There we go. And then I'll show you quick. So we have 10 minutes left here yet before the hour. I will show you how I stamp that out real quick. Like I said, all I do is open the SVGs right in the thing. And when I'm cutting the images with their negatives, I just cut one of each and I space them out with my mouse. It's fairly easy to comprehend when you see it. And then I cut these little negative pieces out, which I don't have the negative for this one, the one I need. Maybe I can do this tonight. I may not be able to do this tonight. Okay. Oh, they're up here. Sorry, guys. I don't have them organized yet. So I'm going to show you with the hedgehog stamp because I don't know where all my pieces are. So what I do, I'm going to use it with the hedgehog stamp because I don't know where all my pieces are that are blank, if that's okay with you guys. It's the same concept. I just put a piece of white paper on my Misty of some sort. It can be any type of scratch paper. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Mom. You kind of have to like them, Mom, because you're my mom. Sorry. Okay, let's take this off. So this is hard to see because I have all my stamps stuck on here. I'm going to give them a bath when we are done. Okay, so I've got the hedgehog stamp here. And I like to tape this down somehow, like with some washi tape. So what I'll do is I'll take like a piece like this and kind of stick it underneath. Sometimes I also tape it on the side. Like take this piece off and just kind of tape it down just so this doesn't move. Even though you have your magnet, it can still move. And then I'm going to grab my Raven ink. And the first one you do doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to know where the edges are. So that's not perfect, but it works. So then I take my negative piece like this, and I do it, and actually I kind of guessed on it. I kind of twist it and turn it to find it. Now I actually kind of did this the right way, I think. Let's see here. I'm thinking it actually might be like, I might have it backwards. I haven't done this one yet, so. And I just, yeah, there we go. I just go around until I find that the white space, and I will tape this down and then I'll tell you what I'm talking, when I show you up close. And I'm using a washi tape that's from my stash. It's forever because washi tape, when it starts to dry out, doesn't work. I tape it down. But what I do is I try to just do it so the white edges. I usually do, Penny. I just haven't had a chance to do that. And with my sentiments, I write my sentiments on the bottom. So, but I can tell by what it is. So, because I don't always have them lined up, so I'll just go put a little X for the top. Because sometimes they're a little harder to find out. But once you find that out, you can mark it. Yeah. And then, like I said, I have them in little envelopes like this. This is the incentive stamp and the warm fox one. What I do is I just take a little bit of repositional tape, kind of tape it down, or you could use washi. I like to use repositional. And then you just have to fit it in. Like I said, I haven't done this one yet, so I have to make sure it's the right way. And of course, I had them, there we go, I had it upside down. And if it's not perfect, I'm going to tell you, I've done it where I've done them upside down and realized that after the fact, but it's just paper. So at least I learned, and then I can mark them. I do that a lot with my sentiments because I tend to do all of the release that I get all at once. And I make all of my negative pieces and my die cut pieces. So sometimes I get them mixed up. And then I just use my little perfect brush here from my friend Treasure to help it stamp down. And then because I use repositional tape, I can do it multiple times. And my ink pad needs to be re-inked, of course, because I use it too much and I don't cover it as much as I should. I leave it open on my desk. But I mean, look at how simple it just, and then all I have, this is a lot of detail on this stamp. So that's why it's taking a little bit. And I think I've got something on my stamp. Yes, I do. I got a little smudge right there. So there's a little boo-boo, but that's because I had something on my stamp. So that's fine. And then all I do is I just pull it up and I can stick the next one in and stamp it down. Of course, usually I have them all ready to go. And I have them all lined up so I know exactly which ones are the top and which ones are the bottom. So I hope that kind of helps you think about wanting to do this. This is obviously taking me longer than I normally do. See, I usually get them all lined up so I can see exactly. I lay them on top of one another and figure out which way they go. And then they sit right here like this. So I can just take and go. And then before I know it, I have a bunch of images ready to stamp. And if I'm going to heat emboss them, I will do 2 or 3 with the Brutus Monroe embossing ink. I will do 2 or 3 and cover them with the embossing powder and just let them sit to the side, and then I can heat them all up at the same time. I didn't use this cute little hedgehog yet. There's been so much that I haven't had a chance to use it all. Yeah, see? So I hope that makes a little sense. And then, like I said, you just pop the next one in and go. So I thank you guys all for joining me this week. Next week, I'm not sure what we're going to play with yet. I have a box coming with a couple orders, and so I'm not sure if I have some of the September release in that box or not, because I know it's some stuff I ordered. They might not have had room to fit it in. So otherwise, we will find something to play with that we haven't really used yet. And I hope you guys all have a great Labor Day weekend. And I will see you all next week. Oh, you're welcome, Luann. Have a great night, guys. Bye, all.